Hello everyone, myself Sanat Kumar Swai, a faculty at Vedang Institute of Technology, and in today's class we will be discussing about the meaning and importance of consumer behavior marketing management. So what is the importance, what is the meaning of consumer behavior marketing? In the previous classes we have already discussed about the behavioral aspects of the consumer previous classes, but today we'll be discussing about the importance, what importance lies in consumer behavior marketing management. So what do you mean by consumer behavior? What is the before going to the importance of consumer behavior, we need to see that what do we understand of a consumer behavior. Who are the consumer? We are the consumer. All the people are consumer. Okay. Consume, the very word consumer comes from consume. So those people who consumes are known as consumers. So everybody consumes in one or the other way. We consume services, we consume goods, we consume everything. Okay. So what is the behavior? Okay. So the consumer behavior, it means that how we people, the consumer, we may be individual or we may be in a group. Okay. While purchasing a product or how what motivates us to buy, to select and dispose any kind of services or ideas or experience as to satisfy our needs and want. If what kind of ideas are required, what kind of products are required, why do we buy a particular product? Okay. Whether that product satisfies our needs or wants. So that overall aspect is known as consumer behavior. Okay. So it's a crucial aspect of marketing management because it helps businesses understand the motivation and decision making process. Okay. So what is the motivation? What is our motivation and what is the decision making processes which behind our choices? When we make an informed choice for a particular product or service, what drives us? That is very important for the management marketing professionals. Okay. To understand the behavioral aspect that will help them uh, create various kind of strategies which can generate their sales in the future. Okay, so we'll be looking at various kinds of slides. Okay, to understand this in a better way. Understanding consumer needs and preferences. Okay, so the marketing professionals, they need to understand the consumer needs and preferences. So what is our need? They need to understand what is our need and what is our preferences. Okay, so by analyzing consumers' behavior, marketing can gain insight into what drives consumer to make specific purchasing decisions. So, what kind of factors which influences us to make a specific purchasing decision, that is very important to understand the consumer's need and preferences. So what will happen for the marketing professionals if they analyze the consumer behavior and understand this? So this understanding helps in creating products and services that align with the consumer's preferences and needs. So they will prepare those kind of products, they will prepare those kind of services that can be in alignment with the consumer's needs and demands. Is something like that should not be in contrary. The consumer need is different, whereas the product or service which has been given, that is different. So that will create a disharmony, discord, and that is going to affect the organizational goals. Okay, so there has to be an alignment. If a consumer wants a specific product, if the consumer wants a specific service, then that has to be in alignment with their needs and demand. So that if the marketing professionals understand the consumer needs and preferences, then they can better aligned with the consumer needs and demand. So this is one of the important factor. Now, market segmentation. See, market segmentation is that I'll give you a very short story, a very nice story I'll tell you. So there was a professor and he was going to teach the market segmentation to his or her students. Okay, so when he was going to teach the student, he told the students that there are three types of uh, consumers in the market. Okay, the first we'll have a case study. Okay, let's take the case study of a mobile phone. So when we are going to market, we are going to segment the market. What happens is that the first kind of the segmentation what you are making, the first category of consumers, we are going to launch a phone, a smartphone. Everybody of everybody has a smartphone, right? So when we are going to target those particular segment, so what happens is that they are not going to, as because they are having a smartphone, they are not going to purchase any kind of latest phone unless and until that is creating any kind of problem. If there is a problem with their previous phone, then definitely they will say, okay, this is the problem with the phone, and we are going to replace the phone with a brand new phone. Okay, but if that has been repaired, if that has been repairable with few bucks, then they are not going to change that phone either. So they are the first category consumer, which even if you try hard, that is very difficult to penetrate them. Enter that thought process is very difficult. You cannot change that thought process. This is the first category. The second category are if they face any kind of problem. Okay, let's say for example they have some issue with the phone sets which they're having, and it's not up to their mark, it's not functioning properly, and though after repairing or after servicing it is not showing it is not coming up to their mark, so they want to replace it. So then those are the second kind of segments, consumer segment. Those can be targeted. The third is they want the latest, though they have a excellent, a brand new smartphone, but as because something has been launched in the market recently, they want the updated phone. So these are the one of the extremely easier target. This segment can be targeted very easily. So similarly, that's what I am saying, that to this is the market segmentation. We need to segment the market. The marketing professionals need to segment the market, and they need to understand the consumer behavior. Okay, so if in order to segment the market, they need to understand the consumer behavior. And in order to understand the consumer behavior, they need to understand various factors. And what are the factors? The factors are like demographics. Okay, what kind of demography the consumers are staying in. Okay, whether there's a I mean, female population is more, whether there's a male population, whether the youngsters populations are more. Okay, so the demography has to be changed, whether the particular religion, if that is a religion-based demography, that's a male dominance demography, whether it's a female dominance demography, so there the demography needs to be studied. Okay, psychographic behavioral preferences. So what is the psychographic of that particular area? What is the behavioral aspects of that particular area? So that needs to be understood. Okay. So what happens that this segmentation, once this segmentation enables the businesses to tailor their marketing strategy. So the marketing professionals can tailor their strategies according to the market segment, and they can create such kind of strategies which can influence the consumer in a much better way. Okay. So this is one of the important aspect. Now, product development and innovation. Product development. Okay, the product need to be developed. Okay, so to understand the knowledge of consumer behavior helps the marketing professionals to uh, prepare such a product which can meet the needs and demands of the targeted audience. To if they are able to understand the consumer behavior in a much better way, then they can innovate such kind of products which can help to meet the needs and desire of the targeted consumer. Okay, so it allows the companies to innovate and improve their offerings based on the consumer feedback. So what is the feedback of the consumer? What are the requirement of the consumers? What are the preferences of the consumers? So once that has been understood, then accordingly the companies, they can develop their product, they can do certain kind of innovation, and accordingly they can bring out such kind of product which can meet the needs and requirement of the targeted segmentation of the audience. Okay. So this is one of the important factor, the product development and innovation. Okay. Next, effective marketing strategies. Well, very important. We need to have a proper strategies need to be taken into consideration. Why? Because you see, I'll give you an example of a case study to understand this how effective marketing strategy is important for any kind of product to be launched into the market. Okay, we all know about Tata Nano. Okay, Nano. So who was the brainchild of this Tata Nano? It was the Tata Group. Okay, so why did they thought that they need to bring out a car which should come under 1 lakh rupees? See, the idea behind that product, Tata Nano, was that every individual should have a car. Okay, they should have a four-wheeler. Okay. See, whatever be the case, a four-wheeler is much more secure and much more, um, I mean, is in a far way better than a two-wheeler. Because you are going to bear the heat. You're not going to bear the wind, cold. You're not going to bear the rain. You're sitting in a driving in a comfortable seat. Definitely, it is far better than a two-wheeler. Okay. Now, not all of the Indians can afford a car which comes in a high range, more than 1 lakh. So by reducing that the price range, much affordable range, Tata Group they wanted, their aim was to uh, innovate such kind of product which can help all the Indians to purchase a. But unfortunately, their marketing strategy did not work, and that was the main reason why the product failed miserably. Okay. So that is why it is very important that the marketing strategies need to be addressed properly. Strategy is very important. Whom to target, how to target, when to target. So by understanding the consumer behavior, marketers can create more targeted and persuasive marketing campaigns. So various kinds of marketing campaigns can be taken into consideration by understanding the consumer behavior in a much better way. That can be used to communicate effectively with the consumers, choose appropriate channels, and influence the. So when a consumer starts making a decision, how we can influence the consumer, okay, how we can use the proper channel, the appropriate channel, and we can compel the consumer to influence their decision making process is very important. So there has to be informed marketing strategy, has to be taken into consideration, so that the consumer can make an informed decision. Okay. So this is one of the important aspect. Brand building and positioning. See, every every marketing professionals, they have to uh, put their product or service. Okay, they have to build up a brand. Okay, everybody goes behind the brand. Okay, so how to build up a brand? You see, there was a concept, okay, few years back, that how do you make up a brand? With the loyalty of few years of your service. You are giving your service the past few years, then you can create a brand in the market. But that is not the case in this at present. You can create a brand in a very few time. Okay, so what are the important aspects? You need to check the aspects, you need to check the factors which you need for the brand building in the market. Okay, and you can better positioning of your product or service in the market. Okay. So the consumer behavior plays a very important role to build up a brand in the consumer, how the consumer perceives. Okay, how the consumer perceives and interact with the brand, what kind of brands they are looking for, what are the factors behind the consumer perception. That is very important to build up a brand in the marketplace. Okay, So the marketers can position their brand effectively by aligning with the consumer's preferences, values, and aspirations. So what are the aspirations of the consumer? What are the preferences of the consumer? Which stuffs do they value more? What are the values and norms which they take into consideration? That is very important, so that the marketing professionals can align with them, their products, with the consumers' preferences. So this is all about the brand building and positioning, which is very important aspect in the marketing management. Pricing and promotion strategies. Okay, so we need to see the pricing strategies. Okay, once the product has been launched, okay, what should be the price? Accurate price, the exact price. That is also one of the important part. Okay, we cannot put whatever price tag on that particular product. There has to be certain standard. A standard procedure need to be followed. Okay. Similarly, promotion strategies also is important. How we need to promote the particular product and services, that is also important. Okay. So for this, for the pricing and promotion strategy, consumer behavior also, if we analyze the consumer behavior properly, then that help us to understand the better pricing strategies and various kinds of promotions which can help us to put the right price tag and right promotion strategies. Okay. So it helps in setting prices that consumers perceive as a fair. See, if we are going to put extravagant prices on that price tag, then that is going to deter the consumer. Okay. So the right pricing strategy is also very important in the long run of the organization. Okay. So this is also one of the stages. Forecasting and planning. Okay. How do we forecast? Forecast means whether if we are launching a product, there has to be proper market research before we are launching a product or service in the market. Okay, so forecasting means to understand what is going to happen after the launch of the product or launching of the service. So understanding consumer behavior, if you are going to understand the consumer behavior, that is going to help us in understanding or predicting. We can predict in a much better way the future market trends in the market, the future trends, what is going to happen, what is going to be the changes in the market. Okay, so this information is valuable for planning. If you are going to plan, okay, and we need to adapt to various kinds of strategies. Okay, because see, the marketing environment is very dynamic, okay, and very volatile. So stay in this dynamic and volatile environment. To sustain in this dynamic and volatile environment, you need to have a proper strategy, marketing strategy, so that you can stay afloat in the long run. So proper forecasting and planning is important, and the consumer behavior help us to understand proper forecasting and management. Right. Next, customer satisfaction and loyalty. Okay, customer satisfaction is of utmost importance. If we got to survive in the market, then definitely we need to customer satisfaction is very extremely important. Okay, and their loyalty. Okay, if they are satisfied, then definitely they will be loyal to us. Okay, so how do we understand the customer satisfaction? By consumer behavior. So if we got to understand the consumer behavior, if we are able to understand, address their consumer behavior, their concerns and issues, and if we can give a proper satisfaction, then definitely the customer satisfaction will grow, and the loyalty of the consumers can grow in the long run. Okay, a satisfied customer are more likely to become loyal to a brand, leading to repeated purchases, and that can also lead to a word of mouth recommendation. Okay, so definitely you see the Rolls Royce. I'll give you an example. Rolls Royce. Have you heard about any kind of promotion that Rolls Royce do? They do not have to, because that's a brand. Okay, and even there is the marketing strategies is like the word of mouth recommendation. Everybody knows about the Rolls Royce. Okay, so there is no you see advertisement whatsoever. Okay, and it is like people who have purchased that product, they are going to be a repeated purchase in the future as well. Okay, a satisfied customer is a loyal customer. Okay, so customer satisfaction and loyalty is also one of the important aspects in the long run. Okay, so in the conclusion, if you see that what is the essence, the consumer behavior is integral to the success of marketing management. Okay, so if you got to understand the consumer behavior, then that is important in the success of the marketing management. To understand the various kind of strategies in the marketing management, consumer behavior plays a very important role. Okay, It enables businesses to create values for consumers by offering products and services that meet their needs while also achieving the company's objectives. So definitely the companies or the organizations, they're not for charity. They are here to make money. They're here to make profit. Okay. So while making profit, and similarly in the same way, to meet the company's goal as well as to meet the consumers demand, if the right way is being adopted, if the consumer behavior is been analyzed properly, then they can meet both of them. Okay. Understanding why and how consumers make decisions allows marketers to develop more effective strategies and being stronger long-term relationship with the targeted audience. So we need to understand how the consumers behave, if that is in a positive way, if that is in a negative way, how they think, what is the thought process. So if we are able to understand their thought process, if we are able to understand how the way the consumers make decisions, then that will allow us, the marketing professionals, to make more effective strategies, so that we can develop more strategic long-term relationship with the consumers or the targeted audience. Okay. So this is all about the consumer behavior. And I believe we have already discussed all the aspects of the consumer behavior in marketing management. Okay. So consumer behavior plays a very important role, a very important factor in the marketing management. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much.